So overall, the Myrmonden here. Welcome to my review of episode 3. I found it a pretty bad episode. Like I am actually pretty pissed off the episode. Like I was my life pretty angry when I was like. It has some really good moments. Like I mean, come on, Hime opening 2. You know, like like that's like great, of course. Like that's just wow. And then they have after the ending. You see some Hime action there. Like yeah, Hime Doki this. Like yeah. So I mean that is fun, of course. And lovable ending there. Everyone's like taking their hands on his back. All 4 of them were like, yeah, and they're perfect. So that's a really good scene. It was kind of cute. Everyone else was just like, yeah, let him pass. Let him pass. He's number 1. Be a gentleman in our team. Like, we're gonna let you pass. So, like, have some good moments there. But the main thing is kind of like, Oonoda hasn't learned anything, right? So I'm mad at that. Because I said that last week, I was like, I hope he's gonna beat these guys blocking him by actually becoming better, you know, becoming the senpai he wants to be, right? Learning from his mistakes, adapting to the situation. And the way he beats them is like, if I just go faster. And, you know, is it the Flash? Like, is it season 1 of the Flash, which is pretty bad. I think it's okay. Like I actually really like Flash, but I'm much more like season 2 than 1 for many reasons. But one of the problems is beginning of Flash, they do this whole thing. It's like, what can I do this week? Go faster than last week. Okay, you know, it's like increase your speed, man. It's like the first 10 episodes. It's like increase your speed. And then it actually gets better, much better in the ending of season 1. And this is kind of the thing. I was like, how do I beat this guy blocking me? I just go faster? Like, that's not a strategy. It's like, he doesn't learn anything. It's the exact same character as season 1. One-dimensional guy that can beat him by being the best of the mountain, right? That's kind of how it feels, right? And it's like, that literally is 0 character development. And I'm actually quite disappointed in that. There was a situation where he could like maybe talk me out of it, you know, maybe manning up, maybe tricking them a bit, maybe using some other people, maybe using Mr. Yoshi later on for that, or something, right? He could have done something to, you know, beat that. I mean, something, but several different situations, or, you know, factors. But he ended up just doing this extremely blatantly boring thing, in my opinion. He's like, okay, I'm just gonna use my, like, super power of talent of climbing, and it's go, like, 10 times faster than you guys. That's exactly how he beat people last year. So he hasn't character developed for a second, right? He's the same character as last time. He's just really good at mountains. And things that the first time happened last year, like season 2, season 1, season 3, right? Like at that time, he was the underdog. And you felt like, yeah, for sure now, for fight. You know, you feel that kind of way, right? You're like, yes. But when you watch this season, we already know he's the best person in the climbing. We already seen him. He has number 1 on his tag. So he's the reverse underdog. He's the top dog, right? The main character is actually the top dog. So seeing him being ganged up on people by just being the top dog again, it actually is pretty boring if you ask me. He beats them by just being like extremely more talented and like just better than them, without any mind of it. It's like I'm just the best. Just beats them. Right? That's the main character now. The main character is just the most guy with the best talent, like without actually having hard work for it. It's like he's just like, the best guy for it, right? Most of them had done it longer for him. So they started out as the underdog in season 1. Like, oh, you actually have a great talent for this. You have little friends. You can have Ostel. There's some bicycles. Have anime. And you get into it and so on, right? That feels great. This season is like, huh, he's already the best. And some like nobody's tries to like beat him by being nobody's like knock. They are using like knock him. They are going like, okay, let's just knock my power and become friends through our teams and like beat this fucking super top dog with our like friendship of blocking him. And he's like, nope, I'm just the best. I just go past him. It's like, that's not a good main character. It's like the reverse of him. He's like an evil guy, right? It's like, I mean, you feel for the other guys. When I watch it, I'm like, come on, block him. Please block him someone else. Like that's not a good main character. It really isn't, because he's already been there top, he's been the underdog. Everyone's looking up to him. Everyone's like, that guy's a fucking demon. Like, yeah, no one's looking down at him. Everyone expects him to be better than them, and they're trying to beat him by being like weak but together, like shading up together, and he still lose, and he just overpowers them. That's the problem. He's like blatantly overpowers them with like pure strength, like pure brutality, with like no sense of, you know, like whatever. They're pure better than you because I'm better than you. Like no other reason. It's like that's a really weak main character, right? I mean, in that thing, that's just like a typical bad guy. He's like Dude Bashar. I'm just the fastest, I'm the biggest, like that's kind of the feel. He's tiny, but the way he buys tickets, I was like, man, that guy's a fucking beast. Like, yeah, we can't do anything, so unfair. Yeah, it's freaking unfair. It's like, come on, like, he doesn't have much screen time this season, Oonoda, and it feels pretty wild because it feels like Ultras don't know what to do with him right now. It's like, wow, that was horrible. Now I think he should have beaten them in so many different ways, just by like slowing down, and then they would be like, should we also slow down, and like maybe going this kind of route, maybe trying that, maybe just increase the speed a little bit and then tricking them up, or just like exhausting them by going quickly but they're being blocked, right? But he just like speed it up and he magically pretty much pierced them, right? I really didn't like that. He was behind them, he speeds up, and then he kind of used like go like that, like in between them in some weird way, right? And that just made no sense. His sister here, that's be good. And it's like there's a block here, right? And this is Oonoda, right? And he comes here, and he's behind him, right? And suddenly his thing just goes like that, and go to that, right? And it's like, how the hell does it happen? This thing is blocking you, so you actually be stuck at this black thing here, regardless of how fast you go. You actually just knock into that guy and actually get injured, then, right? So that shouldn't like physically work, that plan, right? Pretty much, if they block you correctly. And they looked like they did, until it suddenly just blasted through them, and like that was like, what? And so that's really poor. Like he should have beat them. It's more. He had literally, it's very like character development, right? Like it's going down pretty much in character development. That being said, though, it's a pretty good scene anyway, because we get him opening 2, and then it feels Oonoda, and it feels kind of nice. It's like, well, last time I was doing this Hime, but now we have this new Hime. Like it was kind of nice anyway. So it felt nice. He kind of did it nice, like nostalgia from the previous seasons. But at the same time, it's like, man, this is such a bad main character now, and it's like, I'm just gonna beat you with my brutality of being much better than you. Like, fuck you guys, I'm so much better than you. That's how I feel reading that. So it's like, yeah, I did like it. And of course, it followed the Micho thing. But after that, of course, it's kind of nice. All the guys is like letting him through. Like, he's so good letting him through. It's also kind of like, it's kind of nice, and the same time irritating. Because it's like, why wouldn't they also block him for? The patch is like, whatever, let's just try blocking him. Can't sleep, but then he gets to Mrs. Yowamushi, and it's a really good scene in that sense that he gets up there. It's like, oh, this is easy, everyone's helping me now, and it's like, no, yeah, and the Yowashi's like, stream, my old friend, let's have some fun, like that's a great scene though. So, and also of course it's nice because the guy's like, no, let him pass. Some more while stop him anyway, which is kind of stupid plan of him, but like, I don't care, I don't want to win anyway. And that I feel is a little problem. I like the guy, just like gentleman, but at the same time, it's like, why are you even doing it into hiding if you're trying to lose? Because it's kind of like, I don't want to try to win anyway. It's like, whatever, we can't win, so let's just get like 10th place. It's like, what? Can't have that right. Let's leave this. But anyway, it's kind of like, yeah, someone is actually evil here. It's like, yes, this guy is evil. Have you seen the other guy? His name is like Mosokoto, or what's his name? Mokusoto? Mokuso? Something like that. I think so, something am right. And he goes past it like, I'm the Iron Wall of the Kyoto Fushima. I'm like, shut up, you can't speak. You use my shut up. You're my tool. Yeah, that was great. He was like trying to be like, yeah, I'm actually also pretty good in this team. And he's like, nope, you can't speak. Only me and Kotori can speak. It's like, come on, boss. But no, that was great. So overall, that scene was pretty good, but the actual conclusion was retarded, right? Like it really was. And they also built earlier on Teshima's part, which I really hated. That is such a stupid strategy. It's like, oh god, that is stupid. It's like, oh, you know what you do when you do stuff. It's like, if you have different alternatives and you have different like solutions to it. No, don't care about that. The first solution you had, always do that. Like, it made no sense whatsoever. It's like, if you see a problem, I get the thing I said, like, I think that if you have a solution, like if you have this problem, and your thought process is like, think of a solution, the first comes to mind, do it. It might be the subtitration there, but what he's saying is in English is like, and I can't in Japanese. I mean, I'm not like perfectly fluent, but I kind of want to hear as well that it pretty much was correct when it was said in subtitles. And I was like, this is a horrible strategy. Like, really horrible. In so many ways. Just first of all, it's really inefficient. Right? Because if your plan is, you have a problem here, wicked problem, and you have to come up with a solution for it. But whatever solution you have, take the first one. It's like, why the fuck would you do more solutions? Like, it really makes no sense. So you have this big issue, and you have, you know, your hand is here, right? So you have like 1, 2, 3, 4 solutions, right? So you have one solution, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you always pick this one. The obvious general methodology would be that you have this problem, and you start thinking of solutions, and you get one solution, you do it. That would be enormously better, right? Enormously better strategy. What he's saying there makes literally no sense. If you always gonna say to me, do the first solution you have in your mind, well, then do that. Like, why you spend time in developing other strategies in your mind or whatever you're planning out if you're never gonna do them anyway? It literally makes no sense. It's like factually wrong. Like, it's absolutely always inefficient. If you're always gonna use, if you plan, and he does it twice, it's like, let's just go faster, which is makes sense. Oonoda is kind of like simple tones, so like, it makes sense. And then I guess Yoshi is like, Yoshi's probably trying to lie to me. Well, my first impression is, fuck him. Okay, fuck him. And then he goes over. It's like, that kind of makes sense, but it's like, you know, he goes and like, oh, what should I do? Well, fuck him, that's my first idea. My second idea is kind of like, maybe I should go to him. Third idea, maybe I can trick him. Fourth idea, and you know what? Shima told me, always first idea. Okay, first, and let's go. I mean, I get kind of the general sense of it. It's like, if you have the different problem, and you start thinking of different solutions for something, whatever your first idea was, you just always take that one. That's the best idea. Everything else is just crap. I get that point, because his point is obviously that your first kind of your gut feeling is like, you know, that guy it's a fucking douchebag. Ignore him. That's just like the gut feeling. And then we start thinking about, maybe I should use him, maybe I should trick him, maybe he's tricking me, yada yada. Whatever, there's all of these have in your mind. Ignore them, because your gut feeling is always the right feeling, and that is insane to him. But it still, it sounds like so stupid, because he's better to tell him instead, much better to say to him, whatever, as soon as you have your first gut feeling, first impression of something, you just do it right away. That's gonna add you time, it's gonna make less brain, you know, whatever, right? Because if Steph was like, he's probably gonna trick me. He's a douchebag, ignore him. Like, that would be way better. Like, I was saying that all the time when I was watching it. I was like, go on that, ignore him, go on that, ignore him. I was like, why spending time here with this, like, listen to him, like, fuck that shit, like, it's go right. And after he's thinking about like 10 different solutions, he says, actually, you know what, I'm just gonna go with the first solution again. That was the best thing that's what told me. Senpai told me also the first solution. Yeah, so go, after 2 minutes, right? You waste 2 minutes on doing that shit. So Teshima's plan is horrible in that sense, right? Because Teshima is telling him, develop 10 ideas, take the first one. My solution that would be, whatever your first gut feeling is, do that. Then just do it. Like, stop thinking about the rest. You had the idea right away. Don't overthink it, you should do it, right? That's what the actual advice should be, and it isn't really. Like, the advice is kind of like inefficiently, right? That being said, though, it's actually wrong, right? It's actually literally wrong. Completely wrong. I hated that. I hated that whole thing there, because like, it makes no sense. It literally makes no sense. Like, factually, it's factually wrong. Because if you tell me that, okay, you're gonna beat these guys by racing in front of them, right? And he beats the Yama guy that we get some backstory for, right? I'll come to later. But yeah, he beats them. That's your main plan. That you can like outlast them on the mountain, because you were the god of mountains. And that is true though. So in that sense, it makes complete sense. Like, his general plan is like, I'm just gonna leave them behind here and you just go past them. Yeah, it makes complete sense, because you're so much better than them, because you're the top dog. So it makes sense, because you have enormous powers, right? So yeah. However though, if you can do that, and you believe you can do that, and he does that, so it makes sense, as I again there, you can let them pull for you. And Yama's like, you were good to not let them pull for you. They will ruin your team. They will, like, you will lost them. It's like, how? Like, how? Someone just tell me, comment me, how would he lose from doing that? How? Because if he can leave them behind, because if you're at like, you're like at spot B in this race, right? You race like D, and you're the B now, like half. No, not half. It took like 40% through that. So you're at B, and like 50% through that, something like that. And it's like, if I can leave them guys at B spot and go at full speed from B to C, and then let my friend start C, and then I can probably go alone from C to D and use wind race, because I'm so much better than everyone else. He's simply told me like, I'm so much better, so I can do it, right? And it's like, okay, so you have that strategy for you. Then why not let them pull you to C, and then you go from them in max speed, right? Because if your plan is that I'm so much faster than them, I can leave them at B easily, and I don't need them at B. You can do that at C and D as well, right? The exact same factual speed, like if you're that better than them, is still true at C, D, and E, and whatever, right? And all the states of this world, of this like literally fantasy world here, but like this is the state of the world. If you are so much faster than them at B state, you are equally faster than them, or even faster than them, or at C and D and so on. All the other states of this world, you are still gonna, inherently have that extensively much more speed than they have. So there's no reason that you couldn't beat them at C or D or whatever, because it's just a big fucking mountain, right? You're trying to beat top of the mountain. So whatever state they tell you that you should pull now, you can leave them at full speed, exactly like you do with B. Exactly the same thing. If your plan is to, I can outspeed them so much, burst speed them here at B, so I can get rid of them. So otherwise they can just follow you at B, as I tried to do and failed, right? So the plan was correct, right? But if that is your plan, I can I can burst away from them at B, and they can't, be lifted by me because I'm so much faster than them. That was true. But if this is then true, it's also true at C and at D and so on. It won't stop being true until you get up the mountain. Obviously, at whatever E or F point, whatever, when you're going down again, it's whatever next part of the race after the mountaintop, then it's true. If they pull for you up to the mountain, and then you get to you actually aren't strong anymore, then they might beat you. But his point is to get to the mountain session, right? So they have different, intersections of C where your team is and so on, right? So there's no point saying that I cannot beat you at C point if I can beat at B point. If you can beat them at B, you beat them at C. It's the exact same type of, obstacle, but just later up on the mountain with more people there. Actually, your teams actually have, if anything, you said your team is, they actually increases your chance vastly of beating them at C, because C state is where Hakone and Sowako is. So when you get to C state, and you are carried by Yama and Miss Yoshi, that means you're 5 against 2, and Hakone is also there with their 5 people. So you actually have way higher chance of beating them at C state. So if anything, yes, more. I can get people say, "Oh, the morale with Miss Yoshi." Yeah. But if you ignore that and say that everyone actually can be mature enough and say, let them pull me, I tricked them. Well, fuck them, let's go as 5 people, right? Like whatever, yeah. Like that, right? Whatever. But if you ignore the emotional state, at C state you will be much better actually, so much better actually at B state. And that being said, though, between A and B and E and B and C and so on, you could outrun them, right, and so on, for that matter, if they pull for you. But anyway, maybe that's because your team is there. Think about it well, they're also carrying you up there. So if your plan is, which is true for him though, it was true, if you were so much better than them at B state, so you can just ignore them and you can pass them, and you can't carry them because you're so much faster than them. Because otherwise they could actually get into his draft right at B state. If your fear was, I'm super fast, but they're pretty fast by the mountain, so they can actually get into my draft and follow me at B state, he wouldn't be able to, outrun Yama at the B state, right? And or Mr. Yoshi didn't try, but point right, he wouldn't be able to do that without them actually not just following him. And then they could just follow him with them up to C, right? But they didn't do it because they couldn't do it. He's so much better than them, so you can't do that. And if that's your whole thing, right? And this is your current state at B, but if they carry you from B to C or D or whatever, then they will actually be more exhausted than you, and you will still be there with them because they carried you, they lifted you up there. And then they're like, let's carry me now. And Micho says, you say, okay, you go up front them, and then you do this super burst thing you could do at B state, but you do it in D instead, you're gonna have exactly the equal, power level you have over them, plus they're more than you. So you will even easier get away from them, right, at B state. So that thing is ridiculously illogical. Ridiculously illogical. It's ridiculously stupid. And Oonoda is supposed to be a smart character, literally, Pessima level, but smart. Pessima, of course, is never done so far, but still, but yeah. It's just wow. So, no character development of being blocked. And now it's the enemy offers you a much better plan for you. Much better plan. I would love someone tricking him and saying, you can carry me. And then we get to C state, well, my time to carry, okay. And then burst away and just, leave them behind, right? That would be awesome, for example. And it made much more sense. Why, how would they have a better chance after they carry him up So they're more exhausted. He's better than them. Like, how would it make them lose? It makes literally no sense. Because if you always say, well, Yowamushi going serious up the mountain will make him win. Yeah, but then he don't need Oonoda. Then he can just go, he can go from max speed from B to D or whatever. Without Oonoda then. But he's the one carrying him. If there's a huge important thing there. If his offer was, we can go together, why don't you carry me first, and then I will carry you after half the way up. It was offered that, which would be a much more sensible for him to say as well, because they're two guys. He'd be like, if you carry me and Yama the first like 1 minute, we carry you afterwards. He'd be like, no, I don't trust you. Like that would be make much more sense. But he offered to carry him, right? And yes, he might block him in storm, of course, but I think he might block him at B state. So it's ridiculous. Like it would just be him blocking him, you know, at B then, if you really want to do that. So it's like, no. There's factually no way there could be a minus for him, as long as he didn't block him at C or E or whatever. But at C, there are 4 against 4 new friends, right? So there's actually more people there. And as again, then he's gonna block him. He can block him at B state, right? And he sends Yama to block him, and he fails, right? So he could like block him at B. That would be the only thing that he's going behind Mr. Yoshi, and he would block him. But he was like his whole team was like blocking him until he speed fronted them, right? So it's just like, oh my god, this makes no sense. That's the only reason it pretty much could have been negative for him. If Yoshi was up into Yoshi, he was pulling for like half a minute, then he just blocked him completely in some way with Yama. Like that's obviously the only trick you could actually complete it. And I agree with that, but it still is like, yeah, but then he can just block you at B before you leave B, because they were doing that, and it was like, no, here you go, you can go up in front of us. It's like, or like you get back behind me. It's like, yeah, it's like, it's just so weird, but it's so weird. I mean, that's the only thing. Yeah, obviously you can block him at some level, but they wouldn't be able to do it easily because there would be 2 of them against 1. Potentially, if Yama even can catch up with them because it's pretty bad, then I was like, you know, it just makes no sense. And also, of course, they have 4 people in front of them, pretty close up actually, because they are in the 3rd place, right? Kyoto's Fushima. So actually not that far between B and C. It's like at C state, it's gonna be 4 more guys helping you pass these guys. So the only thing I would say that ever could have been in minus is the emotional thing. If they got up there to, you know, his team and they say like, what, Mr. Yoshi's helping you? What the fuck are you doing, man? Like, oh, they helped me. But obviously you can say that, no, they helped me, but I tricked him because no, I'm gonna leave him past this bastard. And then you can say, oh, but then Mr. Yoshi's up there, he could like compete with that. Yeah, but if he wanted to do that, he could compete at B up to C or whatever, right? He's still been pulling him, he's been more exhausted. So you get a point that it's still issue. So it makes no sense. Literally makes no sense. Anyway, I think it's really stupid, and I really dislike the whole thing that Oonoda hasn't grown for second, the same character. That being said, then we get to the next thing, as mentioned before, video here, of course, is the Yama. So we get a flashback there, some sub-story there. They love doing it, they love adding in some flashback and, you know, some side plot right off some random, you know, supported characters. And I felt that it was pretty useless, to be honest. Like, I don't really care about this guy. It's kind of a boring character. It's kind of like, yeah, whatever character. It's kind of cute. It's like, oh, please wait for me. It's like cute. And it's like, okay, actually, no, shoot me. Yeah, that's not funny. But he had a really fast flashback, which was good, because it was kind of uninteresting. It was like, yeah, this is a random guy, and he's like, you know, he's like the Kohai of the nice guy of Fushima, but he's a bit of a lackluster character. It's like, I can't really fight this Yoshi. I can't really control him. So I don't know, what's the point of that guy? It's kind of a guy that's like, he's afraid of Mr. Yoshi, and he's not really his conscience. Maybe he would be later, but so far isn't. That's that guy that Mr. lied to, right? He didn't help him, so far he's failing miserably. He lost Oonoda easily, right? He didn't have his own struggle or whatever. So he feels like a really nobody in their team. He really does. Like, he's a nice guy of their team, a new nice guy, but he's a boring nice guy without any real effort. Like, and it's like, because the other guy, the old captain, he was a nice guy, and like, you know, like he tried to fight at least. He had to kind of, you know, balls right, but this guy's like whatever. He's like a, you know, a coward nice guy. So it's like quite a boring character actually. So anyway, I thought that was pretty bad. Right? I mean, I love the team part. I love the part there. He had some really cool moments, like the team part and the end part. But the whole thing with like, I'm not gonna help you work for the enemy and so on. It's just really stupid. And I am then. Like, he beats his enemies, the other enemies, by just being the top dog, is overpowering them, and it's so boring. The main character is supposed to beat them with other stuff, right? Usually, and these are just nobody guys. But the only thing you feel is these nobody guys are the underdogs, so you just feel sorry for them, and it doesn't feel like the anime is trying to convey that you should feel emotions for the underdogs, the other guys. You just feel like, no, right? Yeah, like you don't. I mean, you're kind of forced to do that, but it's like no. It's it wasn't a good episode at all. Probably the worst episode this season. And I hated Isa in the beginning. So the part I hated this is really bad. He was like really mindless main character, right? And the whole session part is like, pick 5 plans. Take all to the first one. Like, whatever. See you next week and have a great day.